God says you transgress the commandments of God with your traditions. That's your Christmas. That's your Easter. That's your birthday. That's your Mother's Day. Your Father's Day. That's all of these traditions of man.
Birthday is actually it's a curse.
But God calls it transgressing His law. What's the wages for transgressing God's law? Y'all go to church. What? The wages of sin is death. So should we continue to transgress God's commandments? I'm gonna ask you, y'all are older generation, right? Y'all are seasoned, he's older. Instead of Christmas, if I say Passover, what you supposed to do?
Exactly.
Awesome sauce. If I say Feast of Tabernacles, what you supposed to do?
Don't know.
What if I say keep the Sabbath holy? What you supposed to do? But Christmas you never. There you go. You don't know nothing about God's holy day. Leviticus 23 verse 1. You don't know nothing about Christ. You got a personal relationship with Jesus? You got a personal relationship with Jesus. You got a personal relationship with Jesus. If you got a relationship with Jesus but you don't do nothing He do, how you got that personal relationship? Leviticus 23 and verse 1.
Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel.
This whole Bible is only for the Israelites, by the way. Speak unto y'all from the tribe of Judah.
And say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord.
The feast of who?
The feast of the Lord.
Do you know God has holy days in the Bible? God has His own feast days that He wants His children to do. But we skip over God's commandments and we do our own feast days. You know what I want in Amos chapter 5? You know what it's saying? I hate your feast days. Yeah, because God gave in His feast days. Listen, Passover is when God delivered the Israelites out of Egypt. He said to put blood on the doorpost, so when the devourer comes, he skips over you. Tabernacles is a feast day that shows our people to keep a feast 7 days in the wilderness to honor God. Right? Read that.
Amos chapter 5 and verse 21.
Listen to what God says about the days we keep in honor to Him.
I despise your feast days.
You hear that? God hates our own feast days. You ever kept your birthday? You ever kept your birthday? Yeah, birthday party, cake, candles. What about you? Ever been to a baby shower? Oh, Lordy. Have they ever celebrate Father's Day for you? Yeah, they give you the tie, they take you out to Denny's, they buy you the food, right? What about y'all sisters? Y'all ever been to an anniversary party? I see it on your shirt. 20th annual Stop the Violent Back to School rally. That's it. You ever been to an anniversary party?
A party?
Yeah. Somebody celebrating their anniversary? No? What to do that? You ain't never celebrated your... How long you been married?
14 years.
You ain't never celebrated none of your anniversaries? What about what about Valentine's Day? Ever had a Valentine's Day?
I've never celebrated.
Mother's Day. You're grown. You're grown. What about a birthday? There you go. Read it again.
I despise your feast days. I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings.
You ever cook for your birthday? Cook for Christmas.
I cook every day.
Yeah, and when you cook on those days, God says He hates it because He's giving you days for you to celebrate. So now, in saying all of that, right? Who is God telling this to? Is He telling that to all people on the face of the earth? Is God telling that to only the Israelites? Do you know why He's only telling those words directly to the Israelites? Because I'm about to shock you. God only came, or Christ only came to save the Israelites. You ever heard that? Or do you believe Christ came to save everybody?
I was taught He came to save everybody.
And what scriptures did they back that up? Good old John chapter 3. Let's go to it. Good old John chapter 3. Only begotten Son. John chapter 3 and verse 16. So you think John chapter 3 and verse 16 means all people? Yeah. What about you? What about you? What about you? I ain't gonna ask you because you just learned it. So let's read it. Good old John chapter 3. Start at verse 16.
John chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world.
So stop. Who is the world to God? Everybody on the face of the planet? Everybody on the face of the planet. All right, hold on. Go to 2 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 14. And we're going to see who that world is because God so loved the world. Hey, y'all pull it up. John, what about you? What's your name?
Here.
Okay. Do y'all believe God loves everybody? God loves the world? The world is everybody to God? Y'all believe? Yeah, okay, let's read it. 2 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 23. I'm going to show you what that means real quick. Read it for me, sir.
2 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 23. And what one nation in the earth is like thy people, even like Israel.
So God says, what one nation in the whole earth? Earth is similar to world, right? But God says in the whole earth, there's only one people. Read it again.
And what one nation in the earth is like thy people?
The one nation he's talking about is the nation of Israel. That is the black, Hispanics, the Native Americans, the Haitians, the Cubans, Dominican. God calls them the nation of Israel from these tribes. God says, what one nation in the earth is like that people Israel? Read.
Even like Israel, whom God went to redeem for a people to himself.
Did God ever redeem all people as a people to himself? Did he ever do that for the white man? Did he ever do that for the Chinese man? Or the European man? Or the African man? Or the Asian man? God says one people he redeemed for a people unto himself. Read.
And to make him a name.
The name is Israel.
And to do for you great things.
The great things that God did for us is the things out of Egypt. Y'all don't want the answer, family? You got to get the answer before you walk out. Come on, read.
And to do for you great things.
Great things.
And terrible.
Did God flood the earth and kill everybody and only save 3 people? Noah and his family. Or 7 people, 8 people. God did that to save us, right? Read on.
For thy land, for thy people, which thou redeemest to thee from Egypt.
From where?
From Egypt.
When Moses brought the people out of Egypt, did God save everybody, or did he just save the Israelites out of Egypt? The Israelites. And guess what the Israelites are? The black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are the Israelites.
That's right.
The reason we don't know that is because we've been in America for over 400 years dealing with slavery. Our forefathers came on slave ships. Look, children, women, men acting like sardines. That's our history right now. If God loved everybody, what happened to us in slavery? Was there no love for the black man in slavery? Was there no love for the Indian man in slavery? God ain't love us then? God loved all people. Why did he allow this to happen to us?
Who God is.
Because we are the Israelites, and we didn't keep God's commandments, so he said, you know what? I gotta put them I gotta put them through something so they can remember who they are. You're not an African American. You're not a so-called Haitian. You're not a so-called Jamaican. God calls you the Israelites.
That's right.
And because of our disobedience, we were on the bottom. But we are here to tell you today that you are God's chosen people, and we gotta return back to His law.
That's right.
We gotta start keeping the commandments. And it's gonna take the older generation to teach the younger generations what God says we gotta do. Got it? Read it. Amos chapter 3, verse 1.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
God is speaking against His children. What did He say He's gonna do?
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt.
Saying what?
Saying, you only have I known.
The white man.
You only have I known.
At least the Chinese man.
You only have I known.
And that is hard for us to accept, that God only knows us. There's a lot of families in the earth. God says, you only, and that I know out of what?
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
God says He only knows us out of all the people He created. He only knows us. Read.
Therefore, I will punish you for your iniquity.
God says He punishes us for our sins. That's how we know we are God's chosen people. God's only punishing us for our sins. What other nation went into slavery? On slavery. I'll wait. You're the older man. What other nation went into slavery on slave ships? Sis, hold up. What other nation went into slavery on slave ships? Sis with the bad glasses. What other nation went into slavery on slave ships? Anything is possible. What other nation? Slavery. Ships. None. God told His people for breaking the commandments of God, you're going to go into slavery. We'll read it. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. You ain't going to read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So God brought us, He said He's going to take the Israelites back into Egypt. How did the Israelites get out of Egypt the first time? They walked out of Egypt. with Moses, right? But he said, in Egypt, what were we doing? What was the Israelites' job in Egypt? I'm gonna ask you. What did they do? Older man, what about you? What did they do in Egypt? They were slaves. They built the pyramid. They built the treasure city. We had to work and pick cotton and pick all manner of service in the field in Egypt. You don't believe me? Here you go. Go to Exodus chapter 1 and verse 13. Let me show you what we did in Egypt. Because if nobody knows, nobody knows, but the Bible knows. The Bible is our history. Read that.
Exodus chapter 1 and verse 13. And the Egyptians.
The Egyptians, which was the Hamites, the ruling class, the pharaohs, what did they do?
Made the children of Israel.
That's you, that's us. We are the Israelites, made us to do what?
To serve with rigor.
Serve with rigor.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage.
Hard bondage to slavery. How much you pay a slave? $0 and 0 cents. You work his ass to death and you pay him nothing. That was our job in Egypt. We were slaves. Hard bondage with what?
In mortar.
In what?
In mortar.
In mortar.
And in brick.
And in brick.
And in all manner of service in the field.
All manner of what?
Of service in the field.
Your cotton, that's your oranges, that's your strawberries, that's your pineapples, that's your picking sugar cane. All manner of service in the field. What nation of people work for free in the cotton field? There you go. Black people. What nation picks strawberries and oranges till this day? Our people. God says, in Egypt you was a slave. Go back to 68 now.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Slavery again with what?
With ships.
Who went into slavery with ships? Who went into slavery with ships? I'll help you. So-called black man, so-called Hispanic man, Native American man. We went into slavery on slave ships. And I'll teach you again, look. Children on top of the women, women on top of the men. Slavery with ships. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more
Pay
again.
attention, family. In 1863, they gave us our freedom, right? The Emancipation Proclamation. Were black people given freedom in America? They were. But pay attention. When we got our freedom, did they let us go home? Or did they keep us here? Did they say, here's a ship, go back to where you came from? Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
For what?
For bondmen and bondwomen.
So y'all should ask the question, what is the sin that we do? What is the sin that black people did to cause us to end up in slavery? I'm going to give y'all an easy one. Deuteronomy 22. I'm going to give the women an easy one, brother. Do you believe that a woman and a man are equal in the eyes of God? Right here, brother. Men and women are equal in the eyes of God? No. Because God made her first. And then from the man's rib, he made what? So man is made in God's image and the woman is made in the image of man. Let me show you what he told the women to do. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5.
Listen up. What's your name, sister? Rose. And these three sisters and this brother, they're about to learn one of God's laws. And this young lady too. Listen, go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5.
So we're going to give you a simple law that caused us to go into slavery and then we can prevent it. We can change. Read it again.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So God says a woman shouldn't wear what belongs to men.
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
Neither should a man put on what women wear. So let's deal with that bottom part first. Neither should a man put on what women wear. Brother, would you wear a dress? There you go. Hey, listen, I like the older generation. They straight up with you. Some of these younger men will say, yeah, it's okay. No, men shouldn't wear dresses or high heels or lipsticks or purses or any of that stuff. Right? Men should not wear that stuff. Right. Read the beginning part now.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So now let's start it off. Here we go. Pants, 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 pants. Damn! What is going on? If a woman, we are all what? We are all men. No, you are a woman from man. Read that again.
The woman shall not.
Shall not mean this is a commandment from God. The woman shall not maybe, not say some crazy statement like we are all men. Look at that little child back there. She wearing underwear. You gotta put on something that's for a woman to be modest. Right? Read.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
Women shouldn't wear what men wear because that's called cross-dressing in the eyes of the Lord. He also called that an abomination. Check this out. I'm gonna throw some names out there and y'all tell me what this means. If I say Medea, what that mean? What Medea mean? What is a Medea? Oh, who is a Medea? Is it a man or a woman? What he wear? And we laugh at it. You see that? We are psychologically already evaluated to say.
I don't like the way you wait.
Well, you don't? You laugh at his jokes? Yeah, you laugh at his jokes. They got all sorts of the crazy movies. Medea saves Christmas. Medea does Halloween. Medea whatever.
Shenanigans.
Shanae, that's Martin Lawrence. I was gonna get to it. But we laugh at it. But that is really called cross-dressing. You got a son? You got a son? You got a son? You got sons. You want your sons to dress up like Martin Lawrence and Shanae wearing wigs? But would you want that?
No.
But do our people do it?
Not them.
But should we speak out against it?
Yeah.
Do we?
No.
Exactly.
Not as much as we should.
Because the women are wearing the pants right now. You ain't gonna speak out against it if you're doing it. Because that's gonna make you a hypocrite. Give me, is it Psalm 96 or who would stand up for people? Because if you're doing the same behavior that they're doing it, they see your actions and they believe it's okay.
Yeah, you're right.
If you go back two generations, do your grandma wear pants? Sit right here, don't look away. Do grandmas wear pants? Your grandma.
I grew up not wearing pants.
You grew up not wearing them, so what has changed? What has changed? You see that young girl behind you? The young girls see the older women do it and they continue to do it. Read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 16.
Now, this is what God says when you see evil, what you should do.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
So in your eyes, wearing pants is not evil. God says it's an abomination. To y'all, a woman dressed out of order, it ain't evil. To you, it's regular. You look on TV, you see Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion and Gorilla and the fashion of this word, and they do it on TV. So we think it's cool because they do it. But God says, I was never with that.
Right.
Look at our women in the slave fields. When we got off the slave ship, we had some type of remembrance of who we are. Look at the women. Like the officer brought out earlier. In the hot weather, the cold weather, the women wore dresses.
Right.
The women were in order. The women were modest. Nowadays, thigh meat out, ass meat out, everything out, cause the land to fall to sin. Read it again.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
Is it gonna be you? You gonna rise up and tell the sister stop wearing pants? It can't be you because you wearing pants. Is it gonna be you?
No.
It's gonna be. Oh, did you just say no? How about just change?
Right.
Change.
Bring it out.
Read.
Or who will stand up for me against the workers of
It's
iniquity?
gonna be the brother right here. You gonna stand out right, brother. You gonna tell these.
He just said he's tired of standing up.
But I'm talking about physically. In God's eyes, are you gonna stand up and tell the women to change? Are you gonna do it? You're not gonna do it. But then if we don't ever change, then the circle continues. The women continue to wear pants, the houses stay out of order, the men are led by the women, and our nation crumbles as a society.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example.